Today's date, June 22nd, 2026, 5:15 PM. Joanne, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Commissioner Ernst?
Here.
Commissioner Engel?
Here.
Commissioner Rollins?
Here.
Commissioner Vogelsang? Here. Commissioner Wright?
Here.
Commissioners, any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. At this point in the meeting, the public request for those of you in the audience who would like to address the commission, please do so. Come to the podium. You have 3 minutes, and the floor is now open for comments.
Hello, commissioners and staff. Sil Ciliberti, 429 unit in the 6100 building in Northwest 2nd Avenue. I'm an owner and investor in the Boca Chica complex, as many of you know, and I'm very pleased about who was recommended because I drive by the Boca Paddle building, and I don't know too much about buildings, but it's a well designed, and I'm sure there's cheaper ways to make a building, like 4 flat walls or anything like that. It's a landmark building, and the quality of the work that, when you have an owner builder, you're going to get the best. And I'm sure no shortcuts were taken. And I'm going to save my concluding arguments about hopefully the unobstructed vision that 2nd Avenue will have of this building, with maybe a great, beautiful front lawn or a tree arboretum with flowering trees. We will be getting, I'm sure, TV coverage from they attracted a Major League Pickleball team. And the last thing we would really want is a overcongested 4 corners area. And there'd be nothing more that would state that this is a different type of park. I've been representing the green space for over 10 years for this Ocean Breeze Golf, and long before the Boys and Girls Club and long before the Beach and Parks acquired this property. So nothing really has changed, except that it has evolved. And I'm hoping that the commissioners evolve in some of their thinking of what is actually best there. And I know that you've gone through painstaking in order to pick and design and go to the trouble that we went through around 4 years ago, that a lot of thought was taken into effect. And so in order to conclude and actually see that this is actually going to be built, and to get a developer that obviously has roots in the community, I know I can't speak for everyone in Boca Chica, but we know that the care is going to be taking place, and it's not going to just be the most profitable way to do something. And I gotta admit, every time I go by that building, it is a landmark building that they put up, and it is going to be the anchor of North Park. And hopefully everything, the amenities will really pop, because it should all flow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ciliberti.
Al Travassos, 21692 Cromwell Circle in Wilmington. I'm here for the Via Verde HOA in reference to the cell tower. I guess I would like to ask for permission to get up and speak when you get to the cell tower, because I don't quite understand. All right. Because I don't understand what I'm reading here. It talks about amplification to improve service in Sugar Sand. What happened to the hundreds and hundreds of residents in Paradise Palms, the coach houses, Wilmington Villas, and St. Andrews Estates that have one bar that this tower would have served? So I'm confused as to what problem we're solving here by only improving service in Sugar Sand and not the rest of the community. So please address that issue when you go through the report, which I just quickly read without any detail. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners and staff. Mickey Gomez, 2356 Northwest 38th Street here in Boca Raton. And I just dropped by to let you know at the last city council meeting, city council appointed me to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. And I look forward to working with you all again and making Boca Raton a city within a park and our residents extremely happy. Thank you.
Thank you. I should mention, Mr. Gomez probably is the original one that coined the city within a park when he was the Director of Parks and Leisure Services with the city of Boca Raton for 20 years.
33.
33 years, and sat with many tough budget sessions that we had. And Mickey, congratulations on your appointment. We certainly look forward to working with you.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Brianna Hanquist, 5710A Coach House Circle. With me again are my little buddies Thaddeus and Ted, my spokes tortoises advocating for our parks, green space, and wildlife. Last meeting, I found quite interesting when I listened to what I heard as a 3-minute attack against me for things that I did not say about the cell phone tower. I'll just chalk it up to misinformation unless somebody's got some footage of a meeting where I said all these things. All I said in the past was that a cell phone tower cannot go in the Sugar Sand Forest because it is an endangered wildlife habitat and the base would cover an active gopher tortoise burrow. Also, that some of my neighbors, some are old, some are young with young children, are concerned about the possibility of radio frequencies not being healthy. Responding to a few of these comments, did I know there was a tower at the church across 95? Of course I did. Does anybody know that that tower has also been nicknamed Our Lady of the Tower by the neighbors? If someone cannot call 911 because they can't get cell phone service, I can be held personally responsible. Am I signing contracts now and I don't know about this? Please let me know if I am. The previous mayor's report states that there's no tortoises. The mayor was sent documentation of pictures and videos of tortoises, which he called fiction. If the tortoises are there, just move them. Wrong. Gopher tortoises are an endangered species. This means it is illegal to touch, feed, relocate, or harass them. However, if one is in danger, like stuck in the middle of the street in traffic, it is okay to touch and relocate it to the other side of the street. The burrows are also protected, also meaning it is illegal to damage or bury it. Burrows can be up to 10 feet deep and 40 feet long. Gopher tortoises are a keystone species that can help over 350 other species by sharing their burrows. For more information, I'd like to invite everybody to please follow our Facebook page, Save Sugar Sand Park. Even though the park is safe, the page is still up to follow, and we are talking more about gopher tortoises and more wildlife. So we would like to have people there. Also, agenda item 3 on the cell phone tower, I think is very interesting. I really liked it, and I think it will really help all of the communities get optimum cell phone service. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Art Turple, 19155 Fairlawn Way, Boca Raton. I want to thank the commissioners and also the staff. I know you are trying to work with the city of Boca. to move forward on phase 2 at Spanish River. I can't tell you how important that is, especially if you've been following anything going on at FAU. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be there. And even when we are there, the condition of the fields are questionable, but even putting FAU aside, the need for this space, and I know I represent both youth and adult soccer, but fields are not just soccer. We've reached the point now, we've got lacrosse, we have flag football, which is the fastest growing sport for the city-run parks. We have rugby, and we have tackle football. Drive by Patch Reef. I was out there the other night. I think there were over 300 kids playing tackle football. Flag football has just been made a women's intercollegiate sport that's going to start giving scholarships next year. So the growth of flag football on the youth girls side is going to be huge. So I'd like you to keep pressing the city. And what I'm going to say next, I don't think I would ever thought I was going to say this, but I'd like you also to consider some turf fields. I don't know what's changed in the world. If it's the amount of use, if it's the weather change, a lot of the field use now are adults, which are making the fields much more harder to continue to maintain. So as part of the Spanish River, I hope you will consider, we kind of, it's not a joke, but we kind of joke about it. The grass field in great condition is the best thing we could have. Unfortunately, sometimes they're not in the great condition. So a great turf field like we have at Patch Reef is better than a bad grass field. So I think we have the opportunity to possibly look at having both grass and turf. And I think working with the different sports, putting the most intense uses on the turf fields, and not just the intense, the little children on the turf fields to help save the grass. So please continue pushing the city. We need to move this forward. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Michael Schneider, 5500 Northwest Second Avenue. All right. Basically, I've had 4 condos sign a resolution saying that they don't want the Boys and Girls Club and they don't want the skate park in the area. They prefer green space, which would be a golf course and a community center. I'll be getting 2 more condos this week signing up, which is another 500 owners. All right, so that's about 1,500 in the area. So basically, as I said before, they would prefer a golf course and a community center. Also, with the skate park, they say it's the new craze. Well, it's crazy to put it near a residential area. It either belongs near a library park school principal or near commercial area. Same thing with the Boys and Girls Club. Present location was in Nakasik Avenue, which is also near a commercial area. That's where those areas should be. The compromise, some people don't even want a skate park at all because they figure it's a waste of money. I'm a liberal guy, all right? You want your skate park? Put it in the Spanish River Park. There's plenty of parking and plenty of room for skate parks and Boys and Girls Clubs galore, all right? And basically, I think it would just be easier to pick up the children and lay them off at the Spanish River Park. There's plenty of room and it would be the best Boys and Girls Club you could imagine, all right? And that's about it, basically saying that there's going to be 2 more condos signing up this week, not wanting this skate park and the Boys and Girls Club. They want the green space, the community center, and the golf course. They figure that's the best utilization of the green space. you had with the skate park, there went a walking trail that people wanted. So that's why it should all be put at Spanish River Park. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else? Seeing none come forward, we'll continue with the agenda. Commissioners, in your packet are the minutes of our previous board meeting.
Move to approve?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is any discussion, corrections, additions? Hearing none. Joanne, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Joanne. Commissioners, the first item of business is the Swim and Racket Center tennis lighting project, and which information was in your packet regarding the two options that were presented. Brianne, would you go into a little more details, please?
Sure, Commissioners, we have 6 courts remaining out here at the Racket Center that were not lit. Originally, lighting was obviously a much more invasive feature, so we didn't light certain courts in order to not impact the neighborhood. A couple years ago, we made some renovations to the courts, resurfaced them, and we added lights. We retrofitted all the existing lights and we added lights to 6 courts. There's been no impacts to the residents, so in this year's budget, we budgeted $600,000 to add lighting to the last 6 courts, which would give them optimal playtime at night. The Racket Center is the busiest tennis center in our inventory in the city. And so this will increase the playtime available after hours, after dark, not after hours, after dark. So tonight, just asking for a motion to approve awarding this to Fast Dry Courts as presented.
I'd like to make the motion to approve Fast Dry Courts in the amount of $431,000 for phase 2 of the Swim and Racket Center.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Commissioners, comments? Any further discussion? Hearing none. Joanne, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Commissioners, item number 2 is the awarding of a phase 1 development of North Park. The property was put out for an RFP, and the respondents that presented the bid was suggested to be by our consultant to be awarded to Butters Construction and Development in the amount of $19,741.54, $741,054.81. Brianne, do you have any additional comments? If you would mention the scope of the project.
I would like to go over the scope, and we have an image that I wanted to put up on the screen as well of the plans. Now, this is just for the east side of North Park. This is not the west side, and there was some confusion that we're covering up the west side too with all these amenities. These amenities are for the 70 acres on the east side. And what does this include? This includes extensive trails, over 1,000 trees. There's restrooms, picnic areas, a playground, fitness equipment, dog park, maintenance building, parking lots, all the infrastructure associated with this, including drainage, water utilities, electric. This is all new infrastructure at this park. There's no lighting out there, so we've got to put all this stuff underground out there. Fencing, we have improvements to the 67th corridor that were tagged on by the city. Obviously signage, there's plenty of green space that's going to be restored, and of course the soil mitigation. So this is an extensive project, a lot of infrastructure, certainly a whole lot more going into it than trails. And just to give a little perspective on building costs and where we're at with this park, 70 acres at $19.7 million. When we look at Wildflower Park is a 2.3 acre site in Boca. The city spent $9 million on those 2.3 acres. And that's almost $4 million an acre at that park. El Rio South, which was built in 2020 on 14 acres, was $6 million. And that was another city project that included playgrounds, trails, pickleball, tennis, and volleyball, not a maintenance facility. And that comes out to about $428,000 per acre. And then if you look at what we did, way back in 2012, when we built DeHornley Park, the first phase of DeHornley Park was about 40 acres, and the district did that for just under 14 million. And that included ball fields, restrooms, walking paths, parking. We later had to add on additional costs for the maintenance building. So keeping it in perspective where we're at with North Park at this cost and this acreage is actually really good considering construction costs have doubled and tripled in some areas since 2012. So tonight we are asking, we reviewed the bids. The Butters construction bid was the lowest bid. We reviewed them for responsiveness and responsibility. They checked the boxes. So tonight we are asking for this board to award this bid to Butters Construction so we can get moving on building this park.
I'd like to make a motion to award Butters Construction in the amount of $19,741,054.81 as the lowest responsible bidder for this project.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions, commissioners? Sue?
Am I allowed to ask Butters Construction a question about what they're gonna do with the dirt?
I don't know if we should open up right now, but can we do that after? Or do you need that before you vote?
Okay.
Do you need it before you vote?
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
okay.
Okay.
Did you need some dirt?
Any other questions?
I just want to make sure that the public knows there were issues in terms of responsible bidders with the other contractors. Can you?
I'm not sure that we want to elaborate that right now on the dais. I'm
Okay.
happy to go through the bids if there's a question.
I just want to make sure that the
Outside of
public
it, but-
knows that those were some of the reasons and this was the lowest, most responsible bidder.
They were the lowest
for
bid.
the
That's usually
project.
where you start.
Yeah.
The statute is that in the state of Florida, you go with the lowest bid and then you say, are these people responsive and responsible? And they check those boxes. If they weren't responsive or responsible, we would go the next lowest bid and check those boxes there. And that's how the statute goes and that's how we followed. Butters Construction was the lowest. There certainly are some, as far as ranking goes, for us, it did not go by cost. It went Butters Construction, Ship Construction, Rosso, and then West Construction based upon the responsiveness and responsibility of those firms. That was the ranking by staff. And so I hope that clarifies it.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
So there was a motion and a second,
Yes,
okay,
it has been.
and this is the discussion period?
Yes, sir.
This is the only point of
That's
discussion,
the only
right?
Part of it. That's right.
Well, can I say something?
Absolutely.
I mean, first of all, this has been a long journey, a very long journey. And I would say that Butters Construction has been doing very well with the Boca Paddle. The facility is larger than I expected. It's transformative. And when we started this project, we were started with nothing, you know, and we were going to build a golf course, and that was the vision, to build a golf course to replace Boca Muni. And the city came along with a different option, and we pivoted and we started designing this court, this whole project. And we listened to the community. And Aaron, under your leadership, we decided we needed trails. So we have trails. We have more than trails. I think this is going to be a transformative park for all of Boca and all of the residents, not just a few residents, it's for everyone. And it has all the key components to be a big success. You're going to have trails, you're going to have an active core pickleball system there that someone else invested in. It's affordable, it's sharing back to the community. Ultimately, I think we have some other amenities that will go in there, many of them free. And of those free amenities, I hope we can build upon that because that's what residents really want. That's what taxpayers want. They want something for everyone, not just a few, but something for everyone. And so when the community garden goes in, the playgrounds go in, I hope to gosh they're free, you know, and that we can build on our community and make it better. But this has been very long overdue. It's probably the biggest contract I've been aware of awarding where we're going to really do something. And I kudos to everyone for getting it this far. And it went through some different avenues, but I think we landed at the right spot. So
Just to repeat what Brian said, you know, we talk about the scope of the work. You mentioned the trails. There are also bike trails are included in that. Gardens, a dog park, a playground, restroom buildings, maintenance building for the facilities to be maintained properly. and the infrastructure, the underground work that's got to be done too, that won't be able to use, but it's costly as well. I think that I know there's a point, Craig, when you were a little frustrated we weren't getting fast enough, and now that we're finally here, and we have a competent contractor to move forward with this. I know the project's going to be as perfect as what the new pickleball facility looks like. We've all watched go up, and I'm confident that we have the right contractor who was the most responsible bidder. So, any other discussion before I call the vote? Joanne, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsong?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Congratulations. Did you want to ask the question about the dirt?
Somebody mentioned to me that if we could move any excess dirt, what do you do with the excess dirt? Do you ship it off to Never Never Land, or could
You guys will
put
have
it
to
on
go,
the
you'll have to go
website?
up to a microphone. And some of this will be dictated by, like, it has to be evaluated on site by the Department of Environment.
Right.
And then they kind of dictate what can be done and can't be done.
That's correct. We have a soil mitigation plan we got to follow. So I do not believe there's going to be excess soil. If anything, we're going to probably remove some soil that's contaminated and bring in additional fill to compensate for what we removed. So there are probably no excess fill on the site.
Just curious.
And if you need
Thanks,
some
Mark.
at the house, though, I'll bring you some fill. Clean fill.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, commissioners. Item number 3 is self-service improvements at Sugar Sand Park. And Brian, I know you heard a question from one of our members of the public. You wouldn't mind touching on that as well.
I will definitely touch on that. And I'm glad you brought it up. Obviously, there are some concerns about cell service in the city of Boca, certain areas, especially around that Military and Palmetto Park Road. And I think all of us know when we drive through there, we kind of drop calls sometimes. There is a very specific ordinance in the city that was passed shortly after the Alameda Tower went up, and very specific language about how towers can be constructed in the city. And building it on public land is very far down the list. So the person first has to see if there's anywhere else for the tower to go on private property. There's a number of things that have to be addressed, like, is there service issues? And you'll be shocked to hear that all the major providers show coverage in that area. It's not the strongest coverage, but because they show coverage there, the tower isn't necessarily going to go, it's not going to pass on public land, excuse me. There's a number of other issues you have to do and show that you have tried other things to fix the problem, to fix the issues. And so our responsibility is Sugar Sand Park. Yes, there are issues in other neighborhoods, but I think that that's a city issue to address as far as safety and security of residents in multiple neighborhoods, if it's affecting you all. If this were effective the way it was for 6500 building and the way it was for Firehouse 6, I would love to share this information with you, because it's something that they may be able to put up. I did a walkthrough with some of the firms, and this is something that they could probably do at a clubhouse, is put the antenna on top of the clubhouse and help draw signals into these neighborhoods that could be beneficial. And for the tower itself, some of this technology is evolving. Everybody's going to 5G. So the only thing is really using 3G anymore are security systems and different things like that. So would this tower be necessary for the next 40 years? Probably not necessarily, because they're also going to smaller things that hook onto streetlights. And I've had a whole education on cell towers and telecommunications over the last couple of weeks. So I think there's a number of ways to address it that may not, constructing a tower and building the pathway through the park and having the access there, it may not be, and it's certainly not the quickest way to fix the problem, because that's at least a 2-year process of going through the city, because you have to do a number of reports and a number of processes to prove that that's the only place that it could possibly go. Right now, we have an issue at Sugar Sand Park. We've had a number of issues. We had a car run into a building there, and we couldn't use our phones in the park. So this is something that would address the immediate need in that park for safety that we have to address as far as keeping our park goers safe. So this is something that we'd like to try, see how it works. And Al, I am happy to set you up with these folks if you want to have them come check out your neighborhoods and see what they could do. If you want to wait to see how it works out for us first, maybe that, and then see how that goes. But tonight, for you all, I am asking for approval to go ahead with the sine wave program for $32,000. We had 3 companies do a walkthrough with myself and Frank DiRosario from the city. He's the telecommunications administrator. He has a very vast knowledge on this process. He's been working in this field for a number of years and gave me another additional education in this. So tonight we're just asking for approval as presented for the sine wave agreement. Although I think our resident insurance expert would like to add a few things to this motion that we're asking for.
Thanks, Brian. The certificate of insurance that was presented really doesn't adequately cover the standard requirements of additional insured and waiver of subrogations that I know I've discussed this ad nauseum with Craig before. That would, if we did approve this, it would be subject to the certificate of insurance coming into compliance with the standard certificate of insurance requirements that would be named as additional insured with a waiver of subrogation on the general liability, waiver subrogation on the workers' comp. To bore you with those details, I'll provide Brian with a copy of what I've indicated is necessary to be amended. I would not anticipate there being any problems with these changes. They're pretty standard. Any questions, Steve?
Yeah, so do we wait till we get the proper insurance certificate till we vote on this? Or can we vote on this in anticipation of?
I would just, if I might, Mr. Chair, just ask that the item be approved subject to and as amended.
Okay.
So we don't have to come back, but the approval be subject to the confirmation as indicated by Mr. Rollins.
Okay, so I move that we approve the presentation as amended, as we anticipated to be amended, and subject to that submission of insurance certificate.
So you're awarding 32,000 to this, I think it's the
Sign.
Sine wave.
yeah. Signed.
Okay. Joanne, did you get that? Okay. Do I have a second?
Do.
You said, yeah.
Second.
Okay, seconded. Any further discussion? Go ahead, Sue.
In your opinion, is this change to the insurance going to increase their costs with their insurance company?
It depends on whether or not they have a blanket additional insured already on their policy. But whether it does or not, we need the waiver of subrogation. Would need to be named as an additional insured for any liabilities that they cause while they're doing the installation and any damage that they may do as a result. So it possibly could. But
I mean, would they pass that cost on to us? That's my concern.
I guess that would be something that would be subject to discussion. I don't know. They've given us a bid for 32,000. Whether or not that would include these changes or not, I don't know. Jake, what's your legal opinion?
Should take it to them with these changes and just, this is what they approved.
Yeah.
And if they want to move forward with it, if not, then I would come back at the
Good.
next meeting and say, here we are.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
If they don't agree to the change as approved by the board, it will come back for further consideration.
Okay.
I just want to say thanks to Brianne for doing the legwork. Because I know we've been talking about this tower for a long time. And knowing that there is a easier, quicker, cheaper way to be able to solve the problems at Sugar Sand and maybe at the other neighborhoods makes a lot more sense. So thank you for that. And hopefully this works out just like it did at Station 6 and 6500. So yes.
Well, if you talk to Brianne about this and the work that she's been into it, she's turned into an expert on this. And I think it'd be something that, I was concerned about the ball fields there at the back of the park, the baseball fields, and said, that, let's see how this, with the installation at the field house and the community center, if that's going to help them with a better signal at the ball fields in the back, because that's an area too where you could have some injuries with that kind of an activity. So I asked her to keep that in mind when after we've installed it and check that aspect out. So, any other questions, Steve? Craig?
Well, just in light of, I assume we're gonna vote on this, and
Yes.
just because it's all related, I'd like to make a motion to defer the other one. I don't know if we combine it in this one or it's a separate motion.
Yeah.
It's related on the same topic, though. Just deferring any further negotiations with the existing cell phone tower people.
Be a separate, after this is,
That's fine.
approved,
Just-
be a separate
Okay.
action.
Thank you, Greg.
Yep.
Any other discussion on this item? Hearing none, Joanne, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Craig?
So just in light of what we just did, we're basically, our expectation is we're going to improve this cell phone connection within the Sugar Sand Park area. We're going to learn what that does in that area, if it works or doesn't work. I would like to kind of defer any further negotiations or consideration right now of the proposed telecommunications tower easement that we were going to provide to Sugar Sand that we went out to RFP for previously. We just need to find out what this all does, get the information, and then put that on hold. So we won't be building anything in the Sugar Sand until we figure out what this is and defer it.
So you summarize that motion, Greg?
Okay, real simplify, it's motion for the board to defer further negotiations and consideration of the proposed telecommunications tower amendment at Sugar Sand Park pending evaluation of an alternative cellular service and improvement measures.
And that's what I call preparation, guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
Second.
It moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Joanne, please call the roll.
Sure. Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Commissioner Ernst, the approval of payroll and invoices, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion for approval of payroll and invoices in the amount of $2,674,408.80.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion, commissioners? Hearing none, Joanne, please call the roll.
Sure. Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Brianne, would you start off the discussion?
Sure, I just have a couple of things. As you all know, we're renovating the Patch Reef Park former community center. It's going to be the CAP Center at Patch Reef Park. CAP stands for the Community Accessibility Program. They did go ahead and start launching some of the programs, doing some test runs here at the swim center to see how those programs will go. 2 Fridays ago, they had a game night here for kids 11 to 14. I volunteered that night. It was a really great event, and I have to say staff really put a lot of work into creating a sensory-friendly environment here, even though this building obviously wasn't built for that. But they did a really good job, and the program was successful. It runs again in July. And so we'll see more and more of those programs start rolling out. So when that facility is completely renovated, they will transition right in there and start having some programs already running. So I just wanted to thank the recreation staff for putting that together, and appreciate them moving forward on this and seeing this come to life. And on that note, the renovations at the future CAP Center at Patch Reef continue. Lots of work is getting done. The loop hearing system that was approved a couple of meetings ago is going to be installed later in July. Then the flooring goes in on top of that. The new lighting is in, painting is up, and some restroom tile work is complete as well. So things are looking good, and it's going to be a really great facility. I'm excited for us to do the ribbon cutting over there when it happens. And then you all have binders in front of you. This is the city's budget request. We just got it last week. I've started to review it. I'm going to send you all my notes this week, and I'm going to give you a breakdown of the park budgets over the last year, so you guys will have that as comparison. The only thing that we're really missing in this budget that I know of as far as right now goes, the city is working on moving ocean rescue to fire rescue services, and they're moving the park rangers to police services. What we're not clear on is if there will be additional fees with the overhead structure for those two departments now. So we're just trying to get that clarified, but right now the budget was presented just as it usually is by Rec Services. I have not heard from the city manager on that, but we have a meeting coming up, so I'll be asking that question for sure. And that is my update.
Any questions for Brianne? Jake?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have one quick item to update. The commission's all been following during the 2026 special legislative session, the reform item that's on the November ballot with regards to property taxes, homestead, and some of the related legislation. Last week, our office forwarded a copy of a complaint for declaratory relief that was filed in Leon County. That was filed on June 11th. The lawsuit seeks to challenge the ballot question as being misleading to the voters in an effort to find the question to be unconstitutional. It's currently working its way through the court system up in Tallahassee. We will continue to monitor the item and keep the board updated as it moves forward. Just wanted to make sure the record reflected that. We did send you all a copy of the complaint again last week. If you had any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're very welcome. Any questions for council? Hearing none. Aaron, I'll start with you.
I have nothing.
Okay, Sue?
I love the new floors. What's the progress over at Patch Reef on the pro shop?
We started looking at initial design, so they've done some layouts and we're getting staff input and kind of going over what the costs of some of these things will be, because there's the restroom work is obviously the most expensive part of the project and we need a couple of additional restrooms, and right now moving the restroom seems to be the best option, but I hope probably in July or August we'll be able to come forward with a presentation of the layout and show you where we're at on it. The budget that was approved was 1.5 million. There is some concern that with the work that's needed for the restrooms, we may not be able to stay within that budget. So we're looking at all that and really trying very hard to keep the numbers down.
Thank you.
Greg?
Just a general thought is, as we saw the property tax relief come through or bill, and so it's pending voter approval. I think most municipalities and most taxpayers expect it to proceed. It does have a significant impact both on the city and the district, and we saw that at our last meeting. But I guess I would just kind of, as we get into this discussion with the property tax with the city, I think we should help guide our friends at the city for things that residents and taxpayers want. And I put on the top of the list simple things. It doesn't always have to be tied to monetary things, but we are the Beach and Park District and we give access to beach and park. So let's make it as low as possible cost to residents. And I don't know if there's going to be a push for or raising fees to parks that were mentioned in the city meeting. They went through a bunch of items they could do. And I saw the recreation always comes up as top of mind of what to cut. I don't want that to happen. I think we are supporting it. And so I would like to see lower, fees for going to the beach, not higher fees. And I certainly think that we should allow dogs in parks. So I'd like to know, where is the dog ordinance removal? If you can bring your dog to Town Center Mall and many other places, we should be able to bring them to a park. And it's a very simple request, but it ties to most residents in this community have pets. And I think that's the least we can do for our residents. Many things that we do, it's a simple thing to do. And let's just kind of ask our city partners to work with us, not against us. Raising fees, raising costs. We are supplementing the city on a lot of these things. So I hope that we can continue to do it.
We truly are supplementing the city with a lot
We are.
of our revenue, for sure. Thanks, Craig. Steve?
Yeah, just a few things. First, I want to congratulate Susie on reelection to the commission. Very deserving, and it'd be a pleasure to continue to serve with you.
You're stuck with me now.
Yeah, that's all right. Worst things could happen. Also, my condolences on the loss of your father-in-law. And to end on a happy note, happy birthday to our executive director, who has a birthday coming up in a couple of weeks. We won't say how old, But you're a heck of a lot younger than I am, so. And that's it.
Yep. Commissioners, I don't have anything to say that hasn't already been said this evening, except I'm glad we're putting this construction over on the east side in order. It's about time. I know permitting, and soil inspections will probably, be a little bit of a handicap in getting something constructed done over there, but I feel like we have a competent person who's demonstrated that they can do the job. And with that said,
Move to adjourn.
Second?
moved and seconded. Joanne, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes,
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes.
meeting adjourned.